I've been out all night. Me and my son, we done a tournament last night, Central Ohio Catfish Tournament, and we didn't do bad. We caught 5 fish for the tournament. Totaled 22.25 pounds, I think. Our large fish was 10.5, but we didn't win anything, but we had a lot of fun doing it. We really did. My son opted to go home, and I opted to stay out and go ahead and fish tonight. I've been kind of curious to see um, if I catch any bigger fish in here. Um, the biggest I seen come out last night was 10 pounds and 9 ounces, which isn't a large fish, but you know, I know I've seen larger fish come out of Deer Creek over the years, and back when I was a young guy, I know I've caught quite a few catfish out of this lake that were well over 20 pounds. But in the past couple years, I haven't seen any big catfish. So if anybody's seen anything bigger than 10 or 11 pounds come out of this lake, 12 pounds, as far as catfish go, hit me up. I'd be interested to hear what you got to say. Like I said, the past couple years, I haven't had much luck with catching any big ones out of here. I think the biggest we've caught was, like I said, maybe 12 pound, 15 pound. Um, and that was, I don't know, that was a crazy day. The wife and I come out and we fished, and we only fished for about an hour and a half and 2 hours, and we ended up with 37 fish in that short period of time, and it was windy as all get out, and it was just definitely a different scenario. But I mean, I've caught more fish tonight after the tournament than I did during the tournament, to say the least. I've got, I think, 8 in the box right now. The largest one I've caught that's in the box, I believe, is like 9.8 pounds. So, and these are all channel cats. I haven't seen any blue cats like I did last year, and I haven't seen any shovelheads come out of here yet. So, if somebody's out there that has seen shovelheads and blue cats come out of here this year already, I'd be interested in hearing about it. But definitely a beautiful morning, and definitely some beautiful things coming about the day. I know I'm getting tired, but I'd definitely like to see um, and hear people's opinions on, you know, um, what they think of Deer Creek, and if they know, and they've seen more catfish come out of here. But I'll give you a little short view of what I've got in the box right now, and there's quite a few in there as far as that goes. A few big ones come in there. They're decent size. They're a little disturbed right now by me messing with them, but there's definitely 8 in there. To give you a nice panoramic view of this beautiful morning. It's absolutely gorgeous out this morning. Sun's shining bright. I'm definitely blessed to be here today, that's for sure. Especially with all the turmoil that's going on in the country today. I just changed positions and started running a different direction because I was getting snagged up quite a bit up on the other end. But yeah, give me a thumbs up and a like. It's hard to tell who's on here and who's not on here. So if you message, I'll be glad to answer back. Definitely a beautiful day. Great day to be alive. Great day to be fishing. I'm blessed to be here, that's for sure. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Like and subscribe the page. That keeps me motivated. This is something my dad and I enjoyed doing a lot, was a lot of fishing, and I'm sharing that with my kids just as well as I hope everybody else would share it with theirs. It's beautiful memories to be made out on the water, even on a creek bank. You don't have to be in a boat, but it's definitely a blessing to be out in what God created and give us the choices and the chances to go out and do these types of things. But definitely awesome, man. It's definitely awesome. Catching fish is it gets your adrenaline pumping, that's for sure. I've been using a lot of cut bait tonight. Of course, it's morning now, but all morning I've been using cut shad and cut sucker and eel, and it's been doing a great job. I've caught quite a few tonight. I'm marking a lot of fish on the sonar. I've had a few bites here on the White Ghost. I use Mad Cat's rods and fin reels, so very impressed with the Mad Cat rod. I've beat them up. They get beat around, tossed around, kicked around inside this boat every time I load it up and drop it off. So, they're definitely a rod to be reckoned with. I've owned some really top-notch rods. Paid big money for them. Ocean rods, cobia rods, Penn rods, and I'm not knocking Penn. Penn's got good rods, but even some of their cobia rods and that, the eyes they just don't hold up. If you bang them or hit them on the edge of the, on the gunnel plate of the boat, I've actually had the eyes break right off trying to fight a fish, and that kind of sucks. But you end up cutting your line, and then you got an eye floating around up on top of on the line and rubbing the line and creating burrs on it. Definitely not fun. Sorry, I keep looking back. I'm trying to watch these rods. I've got 3 rods out. I'm by myself, so in the state of Ohio, you're only allowed to have 3. If I was on the Ohio River, I'd have every rod I got out, or got on the boat out, but not allowed to do that in the state of Ohio, which doesn't make sense to me. You can use 2 hooks per rod, I think, but you can only have 3 rods. It is what it is. I just like to be able to put the planer boards out, run them out a little further apart, and have a wide variety across the back of the boat. But you don't always get those chances in Ohio, unless you get a couple people on the boat, and then you can have 9 rods out. But you're only allowed to have 1. I got to change my position here. It keeps it's wanting to take me back over to into that holler, or into the, oh, I got a hit over here on the Mad Cat's white ghost. Oh. I don't know if we're gonna get him now or not. I kind of hit the wrong button when I got ready to move. Try to turn you that way a little bit. I'm getting a bite on that, what they call the white ghost. It's a really nice rod. I've been cleaned several times. Some of these catfish are so small they can't even get the bait in their mouth, let alone the hook. I'm using a number 6/0, 7/0, and 8/0 hook. I change them about every time, seems like. Not every fish, but about every other fish. I'll change them out. You'll hit a bone or whatever in the mouth of a catfish and it'll bend the tip a little bit, and then you end up not being able to hook up because the tip's burred up on the end. It won't even go through the mouth or the jaw of the catfish. So kind of give you an idea of what I'm using is where I'm using a dragging weight. So I'm trolling what I'm doing. I've got 6-ounce drag weight on a slide connection. Put a bead on there right ahead of my swivel, and then I got a ball bearing swivel there, so when the catfish hit it, it'll just free spin and it won't tangle up the line. And I kind of like this one, like this setup the best. Kind of gives you a little bit of a rattle. This is a spinner that as it moves through the water it rattles a little bit. I know it's kind of hard to hear, but put a bead between that and your hook, and then a bead on top of it. And what that does is it keeps, if your bobber breaks loose, your float, I call it a bobber, but it's actually a slide float, but I pin them in a position to where it's about 6 inches away from my bait. So what it does is when this weight's dragging on the bottom, this floats up here in the air a little bit, and it's hanging the bait about a foot off the bottom of the, or a foot and a half off the bottom of the floor of the lake or river. Of course, the heavier the current, the bigger the float you want, because otherwise it'll never raise up. It'll just fall in line with the float. So you definitely want to, I use about a 6/0 hook. That's a 7/0 right there for these smaller catfish. So I had to revamp everything. I had 8 and 9/0, 10/0 on these outfits when I started last night. We just weren't hooking up because the hook wouldn't even fit in the catfish's mouth. But definitely something you got to consider every time you go to a fishing tournament. You know, that's why I've got, I think there's 10 rods on the boat, and out of 10 rods we used 6, but we had backups. That way if we got snagged up and broke one off, we've got one to back up for the ones that we didn't have to spend time. Got one over here now. Oh, I got him, I got him, I got him. He is on. Got him on the orange crust. Bring him in. He's got a little tug to him. I don't know how big he is, but oh, he's swimming right to the boat. He's gonna come right up here to visit me. Feels like a channel cat. For sure. Channel cats, they normally swim right to you. Another little fathead. I'll get the net out. Just because I don't want to whip him. There we go. Let's get it on right there. Well, that's a good deal. I got to have people enjoy catching a fish with me this morning. On live. So once I get him in here, I try to just pull him up out of there without getting them all tangled up in the net. There he goes. He just come unhooked anyway, so that worked out good for me. I'm actually going to take this one back out of line, and I'm going to put the one that I just showed you back in line, because this one doesn't have a float on it, or it has a float, it doesn't have the rattle. Now, I really like that rattle. I tend to get a lot more, so I got to get this net up out of my way here. So I've got room. Let's see what we can do about getting him. He's not a big fat head, he's just a little fat head. So he's not big, but he's feisty, that's for sure. Sorry about the crookedness there. Another little, that's number 9 going in the box. I'll be running out of room here before long. With my son, I'll probably catch more after the tournament than I do during the tournament, or than we did together at the tournament with twice as many rods. So I'm going to put this one out, and I'm going to get a fresh piece of bait out. And bear with me just a minute. Pull me another shad out and get him cut up here. I cut the tail off. Get me a section about like so. These are pretty small catfish that we're catching here, so it's not like they can fit a big piece in their mouth. Like I said, I've been fighting that all night. They can't can't even get the hook in their mouth, basically. I mean, they're persistent though. They will get a hold of some things. They're just not as quick to. But that's what, I just hook it right through the piece there. Make sure you leave yourself enough hook sticking out that they can get a hold of it. Hopefully they suck the whole piece down. put her way out there. When you're trolling, you kind of got to stagger your lines anyway. This one here was getting hit earlier. I'm going to reel it in and check it. It's probably clean now. I just got a fresh piece of bait cut up, so I'll go ahead and get a... Yeah, drug out and be some trash. That's an older piece of bait. It got some leaves and stuff on it. We'll go ahead and... This is a 10-aught hook on this one. That bait's looking pretty ratty. We'll just chuck it and get another piece. This one doesn't have a float, but I'm running a 10-aught hook on it with a weight and a different type of slider for my weight. They all work out the same, but some just, I like the other ones a little bit better. They tend to slide a little easier, but they break a lot easier. So sometimes you get a fish on, it separates the swivel that holds it together. It becomes a pain in the butt. But I'll get this one here hooked back up, get it out there. See if we can't hook up on a couple more. What I was getting at, I didn't cast that one out as far as I casted the other one out. I'll wash my hands off here. While you're doing that, you definitely want to try to stagger your lines. So when you stagger your lines, you put one out about 20 feet or 40 feet. Put the other one out about 60 feet, 50, 60 feet. Put the other one out about 100, 150 feet if you can. So throw one as hard as you can to get it out there as far as you can. Get you another one a little bit closer, and the next one a little bit closer. And that prevents them from, if your trolling goes off a little bit. Now I've got snagged up over here on the, this is what happens. You get snagged up, so you back everything down. And then you reel everything in. But now we gotta go chase that one. That one there's all jacked up again. That's why I'm not getting no hits on it. Fish will grab a hold of it, and they'll take off with your bait. Sometimes they'll come right back towards your boat with the line. Back towards the line, they'll wrap around your line going to the weight, and that's happened more than once for me tonight. So we got to chase this one down because it's got snagged up, and I don't like just breaking them off because then you lose about $10 or $15 on a setup. So I'll run it backwards. I just keep tightening the line up as we're chasing back towards where it's snagged up at. We'll get on the other side of the snag, and then hopefully it comes loose. Worst case scenario, you gotta break it off. I'm just about to the point of passing it where it's snagged up. And this one here looks like I'm gonna probably have to break it off. I hope not. Oh, there it's come loose. Yeah, I hooked up into something there. Piece of root, looks like. Yep, snagged up a piece of root. Last night, I hooked onto a pair of shorts. I still got them in the boat. My son started laughing at me. Here's the shorts. I caught them last night. I said, "You think we can win anything on the tournament with those?" He said, "No, I don't think so, Dad." I caught it. It's not a catfish, but I caught it. Alright, now I got to get myself back in position. This Lowrance is a blessing to me. Thing does a heck of a nice job. But when the fish swim back towards you, this is what you end up with. They come right back towards you, and then they'll wrap your bait around your line. And it's normally the little ones that does that. Mischievous little things. So we're going to wing this one way out there. Hopefully we won't hook into what we just unhooked from. I don't reckon we will, but you never know. We'll get this one here back out there. We're going to send it out there, not quite as far. It's about 30-40 feet short of the one that I just casted out the last time. So, and then we'll get to the next one. The sun's probably glaring on that lens. I gotta set my autopilot up here so it goes into the position I want it to, instead of not having any control, and I don't have to keep an eye on it the whole time. And then this one, we're just going to put back here a little ways. Drop it back in the rod holder. we're good to go. Checking to make sure my lines aren't crisscrossing back here. They do that from time to time. It makes for an interesting day when you get them all crossed up. I'm only moving at about a half a knot, a half a mile an hour, which isn't very fast, but that's all it takes. Just enough to keep the lines behind you, but not too fast that you're outrunning the fish that you're trying to catch. They'll chase it. They're not scared to chase your bait. That's for sure. Well, I can't even see the lens on the camera. I can't read any comments. If you forgive me, I can't. I'm trying to get onto it. Yeah, I'm having a hard time reading it. No, that's not a flathead, that's for sure. I called it a fathead. It's a some of these channel cats got pretty big fat heads on them, and some of them don't. Down south they call them hard heads because they're really hard headed, man. You hook into them, they'll bend the tip of your hooks. That's for sure. I can give you a good example on the rod that I just took in here. It's I know it's hard to see, but there's a kink in the end of that hook, and I know you can't hardly see it, but there is a kink in the end of that hook that's from catching one of them fat heads that I'm talking about. They are. I'll have to replace that hook. I've got 4 hooks I need to replace already. You take pack hooks. What? I think it's 6 hooks for like $6. So some of these hooks are, the smaller hooks are only $1 a piece, but you start getting into your larger hooks like 10-aughts, 12-aught, 14-aught. Those are costing you $3 or $4 a piece. Now they used to not be that much, and Gamakatsu don't even they make a hook, but it's not a circle hook anymore. It's more of a J hook it's still got an offset on the hook, but it's a J hook with a offset neck and an offset of the hook itself, so they're not in line. But Mustad makes and there's a few other companies that make them too. I think Mad Cats makes some 12-aughts. I think I seen some down at AJ's Tackle down there on the Ohio River there yesterday. Got another one hitting hard. Looks like it's on the Green Goblin this time. see if he's gonna take it or not. We gotta keep a close eye on that one. He hit it once, he'll be back. Unless he cleaned it. Yeah, he's not hitting it again. But yeah, you can go through a lot of setups and a lot of hooks every time you get snagged. Like I said, it could cost you, it could cost you, depending on what kind of money you throw into it, really. I mean, drag weights, they're about $6-7 a piece sometimes. The ones I get, I think they're like $7 or $8 a piece. They're good weights. They normally don't stay hung up. That's why I like them so well. I can normally backtrack them and get them unsnagged. But it doesn't always happen that way. I've lost a few in the past couple of weeks. I think I'm down four weights in the past week and a half, which means I'm down 4 complete setups, which, running those 12-aught hooks, they're $3 or $4 a piece, plus your swivels, plus your ball bearing swivels and your sliders and your feeds. Feeds aren't that expensive, but it is time consuming to go through, and I always try to tie up about 6 extra setups to leave on the boat. Oh, this one's going on the bolt this time. So, let's see if I can turn it over that way. This thing's a little. There we go. Now it's back on the green. And he's hooked up. He finally took it. And he's not that big. He's towing to the boat. Yeah, I'm going to be out of room in the boat here soon. He don't feel like he's very big. I could be wrong, but no, he ain't very big. But there's another one over here on the white ghost too. Oh no, I'm hooked up into the white ghost. Well, now I got one over there. Nope. It don't take long for things to get chaotic, that's for sure. He must have swam clear over to that other one. There he is. Got that one in. We'll throw him over here, and then I got to try to get back into that. Get this thing untangled. It looks like I got a mess here. That's for sure. But definitely twisted all up in that line. I'll be here for a second, it looks like. Yeah, he did. He got all up in that other line. There's 5 twists he's taking around it. He's on the opposite direction here. I can't get that bait to go back down there. There's that part. Now to get this part. You just gotta keep feeding it back around again. Looks like I got another bite coming on too. And that one's free. Alright, well, let's throw this one back out there. Sorry about that, I had a mess back here. I was wrapped up around the white ghost. Now, I'm going to cast this one back out. And I just like I lost my bait. I casted it too hard. Get that one. Get me a new piece of bait. I've got a cut one, so I'll probably have to reel that white ghost in, check it now. Just to double check it, make sure everything's still together. Your hooks are cleaned off too. You get those scales on there. That'll prevent you from hooking up real easy. Put it back here a little bit further. Now this one here's had several bites on it. So we're going to pull it in, check it. I got a feeling it's clean. Not clean yet. I got there. Get ready for the next two rocks. I'm gonna let that one go out there quite a ways. I just leave it free spool. Leave it free spool for a minute until I get it a little bit further back. Seems to have better luck when it's got further away from the boat. It seems to, I don't know, drag different, I guess. We'll change position here a little bit. Start going a different direction here. I gotta adjust this thing every time I do this, because otherwise it'll never make it around the corner down here on the lake. Well, them catfish are going nuts inside this box. I think they're getting angry. I think I've got 10 in that box now. That's quite a few catfish in the Livewell. I'm not keeping them. I'm just gonna get a picture of them after I'm done, and then I'm gonna turn them loose. They're perfectly healthy inside that Livewell. They've got fresh water running into them the whole time, so they're definitely safe in there. The longer I'm on the water, I think that I got to replace some lines back there for the recycle on the Livewell. It seems to have a leak. Now, I'm guessing that's what it is, because that and those waves got me this morning, come over the back of the boat a little bit, so those guys come flying through here like they were going to not be able to fish today, and now they're just cruising around, not even fishing. A bunch of bass boats. They got a bass tournament going on here today, Deer Creek. But I know these catfish are riled up in that box. Now I'm going to fire up the motor, because I've run quite a ways without charging the batteries back up. So people ask if that bothers your fishing. I've caught fish, motor on, motor off. As long as you ain't beating the side of the boat, I normally don't have any problem. I'm always catching, whether the motor's running or it's not running. Looks like I might be getting another bite over here on the boat. Oh, right there on the green goblin. Just had a hit right there on the green goblin. Got another hit going on over here on the boat. So they're definitely out here. They're definitely biting. Almost can't take your eyes off of them, because if you do, you'll have them miss them. The sun's created such a glare, it's hard to see on here. I am at Deer Creek State Park, Deer Creek Reservoir. I am trolling. I'm running about 0.5 knots. If that helps you out any. I try to find the deepest part and I run the channels. You can run the channels through and you'd be surprised what you get a hold of. I mean, like I said before though, I haven't seen anything great big come out of here in several years. Back when I was a teenager, that's been a few years ago, I caught one out of here that was a shovelhead that weighed 42 pounds. And you know, if that fish is still in this lake, I don't know how big he would be now, but a lot more than 42 pounds. But personally, in the past couple years, I haven't caught anything over, 15, 20. So we caught a couple blue cats last year. We were doing the same thing. We were trolling a little bit faster, and the weather conditions were a lot more harsh. That was, I don't know, I think it was November. We were catching blues and channel cats, trolling at about 0.7 knots, or 0.7 miles an hour. Oh, green goblin again. The fish down here in this lake, they seem like they're so small. I'm using small pieces of cut bait. Normally I'd use twice the size or 3 times the size of what I'm using. But looks like he's gonna take this one. Might be a taker. Find out here in just a minute. He's still playing with it. He's trying to figure out how he can put that bait in his mouth, I think. don't think he cleaned it yet, but he's probably getting pretty close to it. Looks like he's gonna stop there for a minute, so I'll set it back down there and see if he's gonna just come back for it or not. If he don't come back for it in a couple minutes, then I'll just reel it in, check the bait, replace it if I need to. I'm going to realign again. There he's back again. He must have lost it, now he found it again. Now I'm getting a couple of small bumps over here on the bolt. I don't know what those guys are trying to catch, but those aren't bass out there flopping around in that water. I've seen a lot of carp and a lot of shad out there flopping around, but not any bass. See if I can't read some of these comments here. I've seen somebody's comment says it's not a flathead. It's not a flathead. It's a fathead. Channel cat. Channel cat's like, that's pretty much all I've caught all night long. If there's 10 in the box, we caught 5 for the tournament. That's 15 catfish in one night. That's not a bad night, for sure. I've done better, and I've done worse. But the nice part is I'm fishing, and that's all that matters. I get a fish, and if I catch something, great. If I don't, I'm okay with that. But tonight I've been blessed. I've caught a few catfish. Like I said earlier, what I've been using for bait is cut shad, cut eel, and cut suckers. I caught a sucker about long, 14 inches long. And I cut him up, used him for bait. He's getting aggressive now. Is he gonna take it? Or is he just gonna play with it? He's probably so small he can't get it in his mouth. I caught one earlier. I was surprised I caught him. The hook just barely got in his mouth. He is definitely hanging out on this goblin though. He wants every piece of that bait. I think I'm going to take it away from him here in a minute. I'm going to give him another shot. And if he don't grab it this next round, I'm just going to yank it away from him. Check my bait. Probably put a new piece of bait on. And then cast it back out. But he ain't hitting it no more. Give him a couple more seconds. And I'm going to take it away from him anyway. Now there's one over here on the bolt. Messing around. You guys have ever used, or if you've ever used these multi bars. That's the best investment I think I've ever made. I can't say the best investment. As far as for rod holders, it is the best I've ever purchased. They are by far the best addition I have ever had on a boat for rod holders. I not only have the multi-bar, but I also have the plated ones that I put on the side that turn out. That way if I want to do some trolling with a downrigger, I can set those up as well. And planer boards to get them out a little bit further away from me. This one, this goblin, and check the weight on it. These guys are kind of flying past me, don't tell me it's not in place. There's still bait on there. They keep hitting it. They ain't really hitting it hard. Left behind, I guess. scared they're gonna get left behind. You got a bunch of crisscross waves coming at me now. It's gonna get rough for a minute. I think I'll just sit down and wait it out. Sit down and wait it out. Where's my knees out? I just casted that one back. How did I give me a second to go get me a drink? I think it's time for some water. Time for some smart water. If it doesn't me any good, probably not, but it's worth a shot. I don't even know what time it is. But I guess it doesn't really matter, because I'm still fishing. I just got to get a hold of the wife though after she wakes up, let her know that I'm okay. Or otherwise she'll stand out a search party on that 360 app. Definitely a beautiful morning. This guy here must have forgot something, because he's flying back over towards the east ramp. He just went past me a minute ago. Now he's going to go back. I guess somebody must have had his spot. I hightailed it out of the tournament yet last night when they were headed out of the tournament. Everybody hammered down. Me and my son, we just come out. I put the trolling motor down. I think our top speed was like, I don't know, 4.5, 5 knots, just to get out into the channel of the lake. I set the trolling motor down, and we caught 2 within the first hour and a half, which I thought was pretty good. I didn't know if anybody else were catching anything or not. They did. They did a good job. Stoked for them. They done great. I don't know, I'd have to get online, but on Facebook and check to see what Central Ohio Catfishermen's Club, Andy Ward will post it, what the stats were. I think we come in at like 22 1/4 pounds. I think the high was 43 43 something. But we were fighting the small catfish all night. I mean, what we call dinks. They're only like pound and a half, 2 pounds. And of course we lost a couple. We ended up taking 5 to the dock with us for weigh-in. Oh. There's a misty. I missed him. They grab a hold of it like you're going on it. See if he comes back. I didn't reel in that much. If I didn't get him, I reeled in about 4 cranks. I'll let about 4 or 5 cranks go back out on a free line. There's still bait on it. Maybe he'll come searching for it and pick it back up and run with it again. Maybe the next time he'll be a little more ambitious. I won't yank it out of his mouth. Catfish haven't been real aggressive. There he is, he's back. And he's on this time. Figured out as soon as he is, I was going to yank it out of his mouth again. He hit it hard this time. I'm not even going to get the net out of it. He's not that big. He's not that big. He's just a little feller. I hooked him right in the corner of the mouth though. And I get a hold of him. And I can get that hook out of his mouth. Hooked him right there. He's hooked pretty good. But just not very big. Gotta love them circle hooks. They got number 11, maybe more. Ooh. I gotta start pumping some water out of the boat. smoke didn't pick it up either. So we do about that. That might be a sign I might need to go back to the boat ramp. Oh, now we got one getting on the boat over here. You never know what kind of stuff's going to happen when you're on the boat. You could go from one extreme to the next. I had my Livewell overflowing inside the boat. I think the fish got in front of the discharge. That thing's pretty full of fish, so they're all crammed back here into that back. They got plenty of water in there right now. That's for sure. There was so much water in there, it was flowing outside into the boat. I guess I need to put a screen over the top of that discharge inside the live well. Yes, sir. That could become a big problem real quick, which it did. The floor of my boat's wet, and that never happened. But definitely not something I want to happen ever again. But we we will hook up another hook here while the boat finishes draining out. Talked about that with my son putting in a secondary belt pump in this boat just in case. The one belt pump goes out. I think that might be my next task. Put a secondary belt pump. Because I definitely don't like to see water coming up on my floorboard. That's a little scary. Yes, sir, that's a little scary. I don't want that happening again. But I'm not far from the end of the day anyway. It's been a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful night. The weather's been great. Fishing's been great. Definitely a blessing to be out here tonight. Somebody's throwing trash out. Somebody's cookie wrapper floating across the top of the water. That's horrible. Be a good steward. Retrieve your trash. When I lift up, I'll swing back and I'll pick that up. I'm just about over to that bank. When I get to that bank, I'll probably lift up, turn around, roll right back over towards the boat ramp. And call it a beautiful day. If you guys are liking what you're seeing, like and subscribe. I'm trying to read who's on here, but hello to everybody. No flatties, just all channel cats up here. I'm at Deer Creek State Park, Deer Creek Reservoir. Started at 6 o'clock. Well, I got here about 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and fished all night. Fished a catfish tournament with Central Ohio Catfish Club, Central Ohio Catfish Tournament. Great tournament, great guys to work around and kick it up with. A lot of good times, a lot of good people. good fishing. We don't always do major fishing. We haven't caught any great big catfish. I think the biggest we caught was ours was 10.2 or 10.5, and the largest caught last night was 10.9. And I've worked since the tournament ended at 2 o'clock. We weighed in at 2:30, and I just come back out on the water about 3:30 and started trolling the rest of the night up until now. And I think I've got 11 in the box, or 12, and it looks like I may be getting another one here real soon. But I also want to keep an eye out on what's going on with this water coming in the boat. So, well, I guess he walked away from that one. He's not hitting it anymore. I've got about another 1/10 of a mile maybe to make it over to the bank. So I'll let it run to there, and then I'll call it a day. Like I said, I've been out since 3 o'clock yesterday afternoon. I think I got up at 5:30 yesterday morning. So it's probably about time to get me a shower, get this fish stank off of me, and take a nap. Spend some time with the wife, maybe go to lunch, and then take a nap. But I'll give it another 15 minutes or so, and then I'll probably turn tail and run. I could stay out here all day, but I wouldn't be worth a diddly next come Monday. I have to get my rest in. That, and I need to do some repairs. It's a boat. You know what boat stands for? Break out another 1,000. That's the abbreviation to the word boat. Here lately, I've done repairs on this thing about every time I go out. I don't make enough money on sponsor. I don't make any money on sponsorship, so I do this of my own free will, just to share with everybody on YouTube, and share with my family, my grandkids. They check on me all the time, and my wife checks in on me from time to time, and my sister sometimes, my mom. I tend to spend a lot of time sharing with my family, which I'm going to do now. I just posted on Facebook, so that way my family knows where I am and that I'm safe. They can get on there and check it out, because I'm sure I'll hear about something if I don't do a check-in from time to time. And the last time I messaged somebody was my son, I think that's, I don't know, probably 4:30 this morning when he got back to the house. So I just like to share. A lot of good times on the water spent with my dad, my brother and sisters. And if I can encourage somebody else to get out there on the water, I'd definitely do it. You know, there's nothing like spending time on the water. I can do it by myself, but I'd rather have my family with me. But they're not always available, and I'm not always available when they're available. So we make do with what we get and what time we can get. We spend as much time with each other as we possibly can. Looks like the wind's picking up a little bit because it's starting to blow my boat sideways. I'm marking a few more fish on the depth or fish finder. I run the Elite FS9 by the Ranch. I really like them. They're they're easy to use. Not only easy to use, but they're user friendly. Just don't connect it to your phone through Wi-Fi, because otherwise you won't be able to do nothing on your Wi-Fi. So you got to go in and shut your Wi-Fi off just to use your phone. Otherwise it connects. Your Lowrance connects to your phone, and I think it receives a lot of data on where you are and what you mark as far as structures and this and that. So I tend to not, I mean, I don't care about who has my spots. It's all water and it's all public. So if I can help somebody find a spot, I'd be more glad to point them right at it. If they catch fish there, there's plenty of fish to go around, that's for sure. I go fishing at the Gulf of America now, but go fishing in the Gulf, and you got guys out there that's got private numbers. You know, they spend thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars just putting these artificial reefs out. But the thing is once they put them reefs out, it becomes public, because they don't share the numbers. That's one thing, but if they're sitting on it and someone else comes around and finds it, well, they also have their numbers. So it is what it is. I mean, you might have a favorite spot, but I'm sure somebody else knows about it. And I don't mind sharing, because if it puts somebody on fish, then that's what we're here to do. You put people on fish, they spend more time fishing. Once again, I don't promote anybody per se, but I have my favorites as far as what I use, and I've had that Pin 560 slammer sitting over there. I've had it for, I know, every bit of 30 years, and pin 850 right there is probably 35 years old. This other pin over here on my left, that's a 950. I know that one's 36 years, or about 35 years old. There's a 450 up here that's, I bought it when my son was born. Actually the same, well, he's 34, so it's 33 years old. So I've had them pin reels for a long time and they've never let me down. I take care of them. They're watertight, so I can wash them off without them getting damaged. I used to use a lot of different custom rods and this and that. I don't even do custom rods anymore. They, you know, I bought custom rods thinking, oh yeah, it's going to do exactly what I want it to do, and it does the same thing that a cheaper rod does. But you know, these Mad Cat rods, price for what you're getting, basically $100 bill, and sometimes you can catch them for a lot less. You can buy these Mad Cat rods, and I can tell you 3 of these rods I personally drove through a drive-through, forgot they was in the back of the truck, in the rack, and they bent them in half, and it just hit every bit of those steel ripples in that upper plate of that restaurant at a Whataburger in Foley, Alabama. I was like, oops, well, it looks like I'm buying new rods. And I got out of there, and I think one of them had a scratch on it. None of the eyes are busted. It ain't broken. Actually, one of them was that green goblin, and the other one was that white ghost. And I think it was one of the orange brushes that got caught in that mess, and there was a blue panther that got caught up in it, because it was on one side of the truck and the other rods were on the other side of the truck. So there's 4 on one side and 4 on the other. We just came back from Fort Morgan. Yeah, we were tired. Long day on the beach fishing. And, needless to say, forgot all about them standing up back here in the cart. And I drove right through that drive-through. And we made a heck of a racket. I'm about 50 yards off the bank. I'm going to reel these babies in. I ain't got the near film like it's empty. That's why I ain't getting no bites on it. There ain't no bait on it. Ain't no bait on it. So I gotta get this wrapped up pretty quick so I don't get that bait. This one here feels like it's empty. And it is. So that's why I ain't getting no bites on that one. 3 for 3. Here I am trolling along. It helps to check your bait every now and then, make sure you got bait. Because I've got 3 rods out there with no bait on them. It's kind of hard to catch fish with no bait. But hey, I was busy. I gotta pull up my live scope. Pulled up my trolling motor. And I believe it's time to head back to the boat ramp. If I'm not mistaken. I don't know what time it is, but I know it's past probably 7 o'clock. No, I'm actually on my cell phone on AT&T, so no, I'm not on Starlink, but I have considered getting it. Good morning, good morning. I have a hard time seeing here. The sun's got a glare on this lens. Been a beautiful morning. I'm going to get a good picture here real soon of and soap. How you doing, man? The Common Cut Chef. I'll have to check you out if you aren't subscribed. Subscribe, man. I'm always, that's why they call me the catfish puddle jumper, man. I'm jumping all over the place. I like to fish a lot. If you aren't already subscribed, at least like it. I tried to give some action this morning. I think I done pretty good at giving some action this morning. We put several in the boat, that's for sure. I think there's 11 or 12 in the Livewell, so I'm going to take them back up here to the boat dock, or boat ramp, and I'm going to get some pictures. I got to take my hat off or I'm going to lose it. You get around about 25-30 knots, and it'll float things around. this boat up out of the water, I've used up over a half a tank of fuel. Which is quite a bit for this thing to use. Batteries are probably getting pretty low on the trolling motor. And it's not until 3 o'clock after the afternoon. Definitely time to get back in, get these batteries charged up, do some repairs to the Livewell. All the water I took all here yesterday goes. Like somebody up here fishing by the dock or by the boat ramp. I'll back off so I don't throw him too much weight. I'm pretty good ways away from him. But I know what it's like to be standing up on the bow of a boat trying to do something and somebody come flying through. Start throwing some of this dead bait off before I get up to the ramp. A bunch of cut bait. Maybe I'll suck some bigger fish up here. Definitely a glorious day. Glorious, glorious day. I got lenses to cover up, got rods to get put away. Get my truck, get it backed in, get loaded up. Come in nice and slow. Alright, I made it back to the boat ramp. Now I gotta start putting stuff away. Now the work begins. I've got cameras to put away. I've got all this stuff to put away. So all these rods, all the weights, disconnect everything. I disconnect all the weights. Put them off to the side. I've got a slot just for weights. Start stacking rods in. I don't cheat on my rods. I don't cheat them at all, to be honest. Most of the time. I just hook them up. That's why I said these things take a beat. Because I don't do it like everybody else does, I guess. But I get them back to the house and I wipe them down. Make sure everything's in good shape. Check all the lines for frays. Make sure there's no frays in the line. My catfish will start calling. Get a little fresh water going into them. I'm close to the boat ramp now. I ain't so worried about these things overflowing. They just need fresh water. Got all these things to put away before I can roll down the road with it. I better keep them out. Leave that in there. Definitely. Time to go to the house. I don't like that. I need to try that back up. All these waves in here. Well, moment of truth. There's 4 live on here. And I'm going to flip this around. And we'll give you the count. Here's 1. Here's 2. Here's 3. Here's 4. Here's 5. Here's 6. Here's 8. There we go.